I thought I'd talk about this right quick. All right, so Shannon Sharpe is the new it guy. You know what? I got a video that I'm gonna do about Shannon Sharpe and his potential on what he can become, but I'm gonna wait till later because I don't want anybody to, basically, steal my idea or steal my thunder. But at the end of the day, he made peace with Mike Epps, which Mike Epps is one of those comedians that know how to joke and tell the truth at the same time. But I'm also talk about Mike Epps basically saying that he brought the jammy with him to meet up with Shannon Sharpe. He just showed me that he was spooked. But that's how dudes do. But at the end of the day, I don't think he should have went that route. If they called to meet up, they called to meet up. Why bring a clapper? But nevertheless, we'll talk about that later on. So, you had Eddie Griffin, basically the latest dude to chime in and basically speak on Shannon Sharpe's sexuality along with Corey Holcomb and Mike Epps. And I think now, to all you comedians, that's just a dead issue. I think now you guys need to come with some new material. But at the end of the day, you guys are making Shannon Sharpe more and more popular, and you giving Shannon Sharpe more power, which, with power comes responsibility. And then when you start to gain power, some people get fearful. So eventually Shannon Sharpe is going to have to figure out how he's going to handle his newfound fame, popularity, and power that he's gaining. So he's going to have to try to figure that out. But, I'm just looking at guys like Mike Epps, Corey Holcomb, and Eddie Griffin, and I'm just looking at comedians in a totally different light, and I'm gonna speak on that. And I'm definitely gonna do a video on that dude David Lucas. Talk about just basically just shooting yourself in the foot with an extended clip. That interview he did with Willie D, he just made himself even more unlikable. And just the way he was just like conducting the interview, no fault of Willie D's, it was him, and he was the problem. But you heard, my thing is with these comedians who always make reference to dudes' sexuality, like Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb does that on a regular basis. Like Corey Holcomb is in charge of the straight committee. My thing is, why is Corey Holcomb always insinuating that somebody may be, what I'm saying, zesty or has some Skittles in them? And it's kind of weird. He does that on a regular basis. Whenever he gets mad at somebody, that's his go-to move. You see that a lot with black women. When black women, can't win a debate against a man, or they feel like a man is overpowering them as far as a debate go and intelligence go, then all of a sudden, oh, you don't like women. They used to do that to Kevin Samuels on a regular basis. When Kevin Samuels would out debate these women, that'll be their go-to move. And then I'm listening to Eddie Griffin's monologue toward Shannon Sharpe about, the skin tight, whatever those are, he be wearing jeans or whatever or sweats. I mean, Eddie Griffin went into deep detail. Like, to me, you was paying too much attention. Cat Williams wasn't even worried about that. It seemed to me that you were more worried about it. So sometimes when dudes talk about other people, they kind of implicate themselves. Just like Corey Holcomb did that whole monologue on basically the 5150 show, where he said Shannon Sharpe hasn't flat out said that, he wasn't gay. And then Darlene had to say, well, yes, he did. But my thing is, why do you keep insinuating that? And then the same thing with Mike Epps. Come to find out that Mike Epps played a gay character on The Sopranos. I went and found the scene. So you have to ask Mike Epps, hey, man, what's up with that? One thing about me, I don't care about that kind of stuff. And that's just real. That's real talk. Because a lot of times when you keep insinuating that somebody is a certain way, that might be a reflection on you. That means you might be trying to reveal who you secretly might be through somebody else by trying to put that on somebody else. Remember this old saying, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times when somebody constantly accusing you of cheating, if your wife or husband, girlfriend, fiance, your baby, your boo is constantly coming out of nowhere accusing you of cheating or infidelities, I'll say 8 out of 10, it could be because they're doing it, on the verge of doing it, or have done it. So that's how I feel about that. I think that is just too much. And the thing is with Corey Holcomb, he constantly does that, but he says he has Flame Monroe's phone number and he texts and talks to her. Now people can start saying, well, what's up with you talking to Flame Monroe? You know, like I said, I don't have a problem with people that live alternative lifestyle, but then somebody could turn around and ask Corey Holcomb that question. So, like I said, I don't mess with Corey Holcomb like I once did, because like I said, that situation with Zoe Williams, what he did to Zoe Williams, like that just gave me a bad taste in my mouth. And it gave a lot of people a bad taste in their mouth, because at the end of the day, Corey Holcomb strictly put the blame on Zoe Williams when it was more Avery Spears' fault and his fault than anybody, because once again, you didn't defuse the situation. People love to talk about, I hear this all the time, just like I watch those cornballs that be going on YouTube calling themselves pranking people. Hey, what's up? See, calling themselves pranking people, and I don't consider the stuff they do is pranks. When you physically like put your hands on people and you walk up to people physically threatening them and all that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, it's not a prank if the person doesn't know you. Now, I know some of those pranks are scripted. I'm starting to be able to tell, because some of these dudes ain't as brave as they make them out to be, as they make themselves out to be. So, because I'm starting to see them using the same people from other people's, you know what I'm saying, prank videos. So now I know for a fact that some of this stuff is staged, especially with that burnt bacon looking dude that be talking about your girl got a fat ass. I already knew that dude is a fake punk, and you can send this video to him too. I already knew that his videos were staged, because I was thinking to myself, this dude ain't that brave. This dude ain't that brave, and he ain't that bold. So, I just wanted to speak on that. And then you have Mace, who comes across as supposed to being a religious man, but he invites somebody, talked about, I'm not the one to play. Like, dude, you supposed to be a preacher. Preachers ain't supposed to talk like that. And you wonder why black men have basically exiled themselves from the church, among other reasons, from, some of these pastors basically taking a political stand, telling you should vote for this guy versus that dude just because this guy may make a donation to the church. And I think churches should stay out of politics. Because, see, nobody really wants to hear that type of truth, but I'm going to tell that type of truth. I think there are some things that are off limits. And like I said before, comedians are starting to come across as being full of more shit than basically a horse, walking in a barn, because they just seem to be full of it. And I'm not buying what they selling. And I wish they would stop thinking like they have this kind of immunity to where they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want, like they got some kind of badge or something. And I just think it's laughable. Because like I said before, go commit a crime, and then when the police pull up on you, waving a badge and flashing their guns at you, and you say you a comedian, keep thinking that you ain't going to jail. Keep thinking that you ain't going to be charged as a regular person. So I just think a lot of these comedians are delusional with their train of thought. And that's just real talk. And it just gotta be said. Eddie Griffin joined the pile on because at the end of the day, I guess Eddie Griffin was looking for some clout and looking for a little notoriety. Now, Eddie Griffin has floated under the radar for the past few years because he was very vocal on his stance on taking the potion. So, you know, anybody that took a stand, or, you know what I'm saying, standing 10 toes down, you know, they were ostracized and they were ridiculed and they were called anti-Vs and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I needed to like basically speak on that, but that isn't fair. But I thought that, you know, Eddie Griffin, everybody saw what he was doing. But like I said before, he went way too deep into, you know, Shannon Sharpe's crotch and how it's supposed to look. Like, bro, you going into deep detail as you was really looking. Like, my man. Like, come on, bro. I mean, come on, bro. Like, damn, you went into deep detail. We need to start asking about you. What's up with that, man? What's up with that, Eddie? You went a little too deep. And like, come on, man. When somebody go into graphic details, talk about, yeah, man, his pants was so tight, I could see his, like, well, Eddie, how would you know unless you was zeroed in on it? But these will be the same dudes that'll make jokes about Dwight Howard. You sure y'all ain't got some Dwight Howard in you? And what you know, and at the end of the day, as far as being called a homosexual or gay, people don't want that attached to them, because at the end of the day, if that is attached to you, you may actually have people that live that lifestyle that may see you and come at you that in a disrespectful manner, or in a, you know, manner where you may feel that they are objectifying you. And then if you end up doing something, then guess what? Then you could be possibly on the verge of being called, you know, anti, or having a phobia, you know, that kind of stuff. Because people never see that from the point of view if you're not into that. And a lot of times people, as you can see, in particularly in our black community, they weaponize that. And that's basically what Eddie Griffin, Mike Epps, and Corey Holcomb been trying to do. They use that as a form of shaming somebody. Now, I would say this before, if you are into that, that's fine. But if at the same time, if you say you're not into that, you have a right to say that you're not into that, and you have a right to say, hey, man, don't align that with me. And that's the problem. People feel like, okay, if you don't live like that, then that's a problem. And that's what I mean by the term straight shaming. You know, if you say, hey, I'm not that way, and then here comes the attacks from people from that community, basically trying to capitalize and bring some type of notoriety to whatever their movement is, trying to capitalize off it. And it is the such thing as straight shaming, because that straight shaming is what they've been doing to black men for the last 15 years. When you say, hey, I don't want to put on a dress, hey, I want to play a more masculine role, I want to play the tough ass kicking dude that gets the girl at the end. But anyway, you guys, I think you guys understand what I've been saying. I got to get ready to start my shift, but that's all I wanted to say in regards to this. These dudes need to fall back on that stuff, because that's just not cool to just do that to somebody. You know, you putting them in a cross, and that's just real talk. Anyway, appreciate you guys. I'm out.